with Mrs. Wacasas in the library. It is January 30th, 2019, and this is on how to cite newspaper articles in MLA style from these databases here. So actually wouldn't matter if it's from these databases, but I'm just going to use these databases. So you know it's a newspaper article because you've got it from the newspaper article section. And sometimes if you don't know what type of source it is, you're going to have to, that's how you're going to be able to figure it out. Like I wouldn't have known the Daily Beast was a newspaper off the top of my head. Click through here and I might have known a lot of these were newspapers. Okay, so I'm going to come down here. I use this one right here, The War of Words on Abortion. And it's an editorial, okay? And we actually want to cite it as an editorial. So I'll show you how to do that. So when you come in here, you create a new citation. I've already done it here, but I'm going to take you through this step so you see what I've done. Hit database. We're getting a newspaper article. Hit continue. And it defaults to an article in a newspaper. You want to actually change it to an editorial in a newspaper, and only because they identified it as an editorial. Let me show you. See, it tells you article, editorial, article, brief or not brief. They're still articles. Let me see if you can see any more. They're all vast majority of articles, but this one is an editorial. Okay. So you probably already know this, but an editorial is when someone's giving their opinion on a topic, as opposed to typically you're talking about reporting the news. Okay. Maybe giving both sides of the story, but in an editorial, nobody's required to give both sides of the story. It is implied by the name, it's somebody's opinion. So we're going to change it to editorial newspaper. So I'm going to come back over here because I've already filled all this out. So you can see you're not using a URL. Let's see if I should have done, we can take this out because I didn't realize we're not supposed to put in a session date. Let me move this up. Grab 0, unless it is, there's no publication date, and there is a publication date. We've got it down here. Okay. You've got your author, you've got your title, you've got your name of the newspaper. So let me just kind of remind you, you don't have to put a publication city on the name of the newspaper when the name of the newspaper is either it's a nationally published newspaper or the name is in the newspaper's title. So for example, the Dunwoody Crier would not need you to put a publication city because you would imply that the city of publication would be Dunwoody. Alrighty, and then here's the tricky part right here. I couldn't figure out what A23L is. I had to do a little investigating. So let me show you where I found that information. It says page A23L. That L means late edition. There's more than one edition of the New York Times. So E would be early edition, L would be late edition. That was new to me today. And you'd put it after the page, like in, there's a couple different ways I've seen it in MLA. I'm going to leave it this way, in quotes, in parentheses, L after the page number. And then you're telling the reader which edition it is. Okay, and let me see if there's anything else that I hadn't seen. I don't think so. I think that's it. And you hit save. And that's it for a newspaper. It's pretty easy. Let me know if you have any questions.